On this channel and in my personal life, I've talked about wanting to move to Japan for a long time. When I tell people this, I'm usually met with one of two responses. It's either, oh, Japan's awesome, you should totally do that. Or it's, why would you want to do that? That's a stupid idea. And honestly, I think both are right. Japan, more than most countries, has been romanticized by Western culture, which in some cases can be disturbing. It makes Japan feel like a utopia where nothing can go wrong, and if you go there, everything will get better for you. But really, Japan is just like any other country with its own problems that it's facing. So let's dive into the dark side of romanticizing Japan. Why do people romanticize Japan? Thing versus thing in Japan is unfortunately a real thing for some people. As crazy as that sounds, I know I've been guilty of that as well for, oh, I'm going to buy this product specifically because it's Japanese, so it must be better. Even though in reality, it's the same thing as a complimentary product that was made where I live. For a lot of people, there are seemingly an infinite number of reasons to romanticize Japan. The traditions that they have, the Tanabata, the New Year's festivals, summer festivals, just there is a culture there that a lot of people wish that they had in their home country. It's a beautiful country with a deep history, lots of traditions that show off the beauty of nature. It's a very clean society where if you're walking around, let's say New York City, you will see trash pretty much everywhere. But if you are in, let's say, Tokyo or Osaka, you might not see as much. For some people, it's about anime. It's the land where anime comes from, and that's all they need to romanticize it for. Some people romanticize it because of the low home prices and the low cost of living. I know that for me, that is a part of why I romanticize it as well, just because in my country, it's impossible for someone of my financial status to own a house. There is crime in Japan, but it is lower than a lot of countries. So that leads to people romanticizing it because they feel like it's a safe country to be in. And I think at the root of everything for most Westerners, it is a way of escape from whatever is troubling them in their home life. So what's the problem with romanticizing Japan? It's harmless, right? But it's really not. It discounts a lot of real issues that people in Japan are facing in their daily lives. One of which is a big one, is the weakening yen. A lot of people take advantage of the weakening yen, whether that's for traveling to Japan and having a better outcome for yourself than what you do in your home country, or you're able to do more than the actual citizens living there. While Japan's cost of living is low, it is increasing, and wages are not increasing with it, which the weakening yen will make it difficult for regular people in Japan to afford groceries, childcare, and things of that nature. They have a struggling workplace culture that incentivizes long hours with no sleep. There's no work-life balance in some companies, which are called black companies, which the new prime minister over there seems to be in favor of. She believes in working hard and long hours and no rest. And while that sometimes is a solution, and I don't live in the country, so I don't have a right to express my opinion, might not be the solution that everyone wants over there. You have gender inequality, which I believe with the new prime minister that we were talking about earlier, she's the first female prime minister in Japanese history. And I think that a lot of people were hoping that she was going to tackle some gender inequality issues. So far, I don't believe she has, but she's still young in her term there. So those might come along the way. Here's hoping that that issue is going to get resolved, or at least better sooner. In a lot of Japanese cities, over-tourism has become a bigger issue, making it difficult for the locals to live their daily lives like they would want to. And it's no fault of their own. Commutes have gotten busier. Streets are getting more crowded. People vandalize things. This has led to the Sanseto movement, which is a whole issue in and of itself. The Japan First movement. You have tourists that come over there that disrespect the culture or disrespect things. And while that's a minority, it does happen. And whenever it does happen, it does lead to bigger issues in the community that it happens to. Japan is an island nation where natural disasters are unfortunately a way of life. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that one of the things that they are taught growing up is being happy with having less, because whatever you could have could be gone in an instant due to an earthquake or a tsunami or anything of that nature. Japan can be a very unforgiving in the terms of nature. You also have the issue with depopulation in the rural areas. Rural areas. You also have the issue, I cannot say that word, depopulation of rural areas, which is a big issue. A lot of people, because where the jobs are, they have to move to the city, which causes a lot of smaller towns to become increasingly less populated and in some case be completely abandoned. And while there are ways to combat this, one of the ways that Japan does that is with a tax credit, where you can buy something and get a tax credit and the money goes to your home prefecture, which it's not a perfect solution, but it is at least a way that the prefectures that are suffering from that issue can get a little bit of extra help. Another way that as tourists people could help that is to adventure out into lesser known areas besides just going to Tokyo, Osaka, Sapporo. So just as a countermeasure, that's something as tourists that people could do. I know that that might not be what everyone wants, but if someone's interested in hiking or some of the beautiful nature that those places have, it would be a good idea for them. And then another issue that has caused a lot of headaches in Japan is foreigners buying cheap houses in Japan and turning them into Airbnbs, forcing Japanese people out of a housing market similar to what happened in Puerto Rico, where people came in that were not localers or islanders and bought up a bunch of houses for tax purposes. So that is an issue that Japan is facing, and it's not talked about a lot, at least in America or where I am or my circles online. So it is something that should be brought up, should be understood that, hey, this is something that's happening. And from what I understand, they don't have a issue with people or foreigners moving in if they're going to live there and respect the culture and be a part of the neighborhood. But they do have an issue when people come in, buy cheap houses, turn it into an Airbnb, and just use it as a means for business instead of something that gives back, or being a person that gives back to the community, which is completely understandable. Anti-foreigner sentiment is at an all-time high. As an outsider, there is not much I can do about that. Now, with all of this, I'm not saying Japan is a bad place. In a lot of ways, Japan is better than at least where I live and most places in the world. But a realistic view of Japan is needed. For the longest time, Japan has been viewed as the country where nothing bad happens, and it's the greatest place in the world, and everything is so much better in Japan. A lot of it ignores some of the issues that Japanese people are facing. If you're interested in any of these issues, I'll leave links down below to websites where you can learn more about them. And that way you can do your own research. And if there are some ways that you can think of helping, hopefully giving you access to a way to help out. But that's it for today. Thank you, everyone.